Hi, I'm Brunson of Modern Photography Group, and this is Shoot Review, finally, number 10. That's right, Shoot Review number 10. And when they're numbered like this, these are scheduled ones, but we've had some other ones in between that have come up because we've had some just some different experiences out there in the shooting world. We wanted to get some videos up. So this is number 10, and this one is going to be, let me check the pad. This is going to be tips for the beginner, and it relates to picking a camera kit, how to build your knowledge and educational background, and it also deals with finding subjects to shoot. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we get started with all the information, let's subscribe to this channel, Modern Photography Group. Then go on over to Facebook and subscribe or like our page over there at Facebook, and then head on out to Pinterest and find our Modern Photography Group there. We're Modern Photog there. And then head on over to Instagram, modern.photography.group, and then like our individual services like Firefly there behind me, Firefly Event Photography, all one word. Also, my personal page on Instagram is Pierce Brunson Photography, so that's PIERCEBRUNSON Photography. So like us all over social media, and we'll have some great information for you there, and also samples of the work that we're doing. We're constantly posting. Never really get a break, but that's good because we're in the photography business, and those are great places to post. All right, so photography tips for the beginner. Now, I've taught classes to adults, and usually the classes range from people in skill set, definitely from somebody just bringing in their first camera, and they got it as a gift, and it's not even open, and they have a vacation in 6 weeks, and they really want to use it, to a person who does have experience with their camera, and they just want to sharpen their skills. So this is for the people who are in the beginning. You may or may not want to have your own business, but you want to shoot and then think about having or making some money from it. So you got to build up your skills first. So the first thing is the kit. This is what we always get asked. What should I purchase? And the thing I always say to people is, well, what's your budget? What are you willing to spend and to learn? I get that if you're a race car driver, you don't get your Formula One the first day and boom, you're out there racing. No, you start with a smaller type go-kart. So if that's the case, you probably get the best go-kart for the money. So that's what I would say to you. It's like usually the kits that are in Target or Best Buy, that are Canon or Nikon or Sony, for about $600, between $400 and $600, depending on the sales special they have going on. It's a great place to start. To me, also, it's one that when you grow out of it, you can get some resale value off of it. So if you continue to grow past that, then you can say, okay, well, I'm going to sell this one, maybe get 150, $200 back for the entire kit, and then use that money to buy a larger camera. So when I first started, I knew that I wanted to shoot professionally and make some money off of it. Okay, so I was teaching at the time, but I knew I wanted to maybe be a weekend photography warrior, whether it be just taking pictures of a couple of weddings a year or whatever. I knew I wanted to make some money, so I needed a better camera. And at the time, the best prosumer camera, which is the combination of consumer and professional type camera, was the Canon 50D. It was a nice solid body. It was well recommended, and it came with a great lens, the 28 to 135, which is a really good lens. Now we still use those cameras in our business today. I mean, they're just great event cameras. They're rigid, and they're ready to go, and they can get bumped a lot. And the accessories are relatively inexpensive, like the batteries and things like that. So we still use those. So I took a couple of steps higher, but I knew I wanted to make some money, and I wanted to do a little bit more. I wasn't ready to spend the 3 to 5 grand into a full frame. No, I wasn't ready to do that. But that I knew where I was going a little bit. So that's what I would suggest to you. And I knew that going into Target or Best Buy and buying just a regular kit for $500, I knew I wanted something a little bit more than that. So I did some research and realized that at the 50 D level, you could have some. You didn't need attachments for the lenses, so you didn't need converters, and that was the kind of the lowest mark you could get where you didn't need converters for these larger Canon lenses that they have. So that's pretty much how I picked my kit. Based on a little bit of research. Now, for you, if you're just starting out and you don't really know, and you don't know what type of lens you want, then you just buy one with two lenses and then discover like your range and all the other stuff. When you, as you grow out of it, then you buy your next one. It's kind of like, a pair of shoes for kids. Once you grow out of those things, then you got to buy a new pair. And then if you're, using that particular pair a lot, then you buy a better pair, if you will. So, pick a kit. I wouldn't over purchase, especially if you're just starting out. Everybody always comes, well, I'm a beginner. Okay. All right. If you're a beginner, then start here. Yeah, but I want the best. Well, that's the best. These cameras are great. Like, even though we use the 50D, and in our when we shoot events, there's cameras now that I think are just better than that camera. They're not as sturdy, but they shoot very, very well. So as technology improves, it's only gonna trickle down, if you will, to the lower end cameras. So if you buy now, you're getting a good camera. So I would just look at that first, okay. And then the second thing I would say, these tips, and we're only doing 3 today, is to take a hands-on class. I teach a hands-on class for adults at the local junior college, and it's real easy to get the class and do and learn, because the professor or teacher, if you will, or local person is good at helping you understand what you need to understand and answering very, very general questions. I've never taken a class online. I've looked at them, but to me they seem like you do have to know a lot, and hands-on is completely different. There's times when I walk around in the class and I just say the buttons right here, or adjust this right here, or point to this. Like sometimes people need that, especially adults. So that really just they want to learn, they want to take it slow. So I would say take a hands-on class. Get into some walks where there's a bunch of photographers that go out on these walks, and just ask them questions. There's a lot of people there who know a lot about the intricacies of the camera, and they're just hobbyists, and they're not in it to make a lot of money. They just they have their job, and they like they like photography, and they can answer a ton of questions for you. That's another thing too, is to get involved with some local photography walks. And other than that, now with the college classes, I would take an adult class. So like when I taught the adult class, it was only 5 weeks, so we could get people moving, get people going. I would always suggest to people, get whatever you want to take out of the class, and then you may have to take the class again. But it was such a low cost; it was like $150 for 5 weeks, that they could take it again, and really not feel a heavier burden, but they could learn more. So that's something that I would suggest to people. Even when people would come to me for private lessons, my private lessons are pretty expensive. So, well, in terms of that, they're like $125 an hour. But I always tell people that I try to steer away from people who don't know a lot about cameras for private lessons, because the first hour that you're paying is just a waste of this dial, that dial, da da da. If you want to spend that money, fine, I don't have a problem. But if you're really like, well, I'm on a budget. Well, if you're not on a budget, then good, we can hang out, for 8 to 10 hours. But if you are, and you're like, well, I don't know, I want to get the most bang for my buck, then I would say take those local classes. Okay, and then number 3, even in my class, I tell people to shoot what's available. That's how I learned. So number 3 is to shoot what's available to you. So if you have grandkids, animals, plants outside, just family members, things like that. when you're practicing, shoot what's available, and and look at what's going on. Okay, look at your results and those type of things. But continue to shoot what's available, especially before you try to go out and earn money from this. Like you got to have people, and you got to have objects, and you got to have things. There was a day when I was learning lighting. All I did was shoot at the lamp and learn to control my dials. And as I learned the dials, then the picture got underexposed. And as I turned it this way, the picture was, became exposed and then overexposed. So sometimes just using general things around you is really, really good to use. So shoot what's available, shoot what's around you when you're taking images. Doesn't matter if it's cat or dog and you take them 100 times. It doesn't matter. You're learning during this process. So just annoy people and hey, I did. But also use round objects, use different shapes so you can just see how the light works. You shoot at an apple, and move the lighting around, or turn or walk around the lighting to see how it's affected. Because when you go out and shoot people, these are going to be similar things. I mean, people's heads are essentially in the shape of apples. So, you just need to learn the lighting and how it flows. So those are the things that everybody has available to them. So just start there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. In review, photography tips for the beginner: 3 things. Pick a kit that's on your essentially your financial and your where you want to go skill set level. Okay, that could be a basic kit. The number 2, take a hands-on class, the local junior college, or if they have an art studio near you that has a hands-on class. It shouldn't be like 10 weeks. That's too long. It should be about 5 weeks, somewhere in there. Or there's some optional dates that you can go. So that would be number 2. And then number 3, as you're practicing, shoot what's available to you. Okay, capture images of an apple, an orange, your pets, any family members or something like that. Work on that and learn how your camera kit and the lighting work together, especially with your lenses. So that's why you don't need to over purchase in number 1. Okay, that's it. I'm Pierce Brunson from Modern Photography Group. Again, don't forget to subscribe here down at the bottom, and feel free to ask me any photo related questions down at the bottom, especially how I got started. It was a fun ride, and here we are still doing our thing now. And also swing on over to Facebook, Modern Photography Group there, Modern Photography Group on Pinterest, and then go to Instagram and find us, Modern Photography Group, modern.photography.group, and Firefly Event Photography, all one word, and Pierce Brunson Photography. That's PIERCE BRUNSON Photography. Thank you. See you for shoot review 11.